Have you ever fallen in love? Once? Twice? 5 times? Maybe never.
Random quote from Lord of the Rings.
In the words of Hadaway, what is love?
What is love?
Well, Hiromi Kawakami's The 10 Loves of Mr Nishino really brings that all together and asks, what is love? How do we love? Can people always love? Are there people who can never love? Can a person who is so broken inside be capable of loving? And those are all the things that Kawakami goes into in this book. As I've gotten older, I've learnt that Kawakami's books speak to me so much. When I first read her literature, starting with Strange Weather in Tokyo, I was like, oh, this is nice, this is a fun love story. And now, as I get older and I read more of her books, I more so learn, wow, no, I understand what she's saying. It touches me to my core, and The 10 Loves of Mr Nishino is no exception to that. The 10 Loves of Mr Nishino is, it starts off to appear to be 10 different stories about this man, Nishino, throughout his life and the lovers and the loves he has. 10 of them. Initially, I thought these would just be 10 standalone stories, but the more you read into them, you kind of see that they're interconnected. There are characters in the first story that are coming up in the last story, or the penultimate story. There are characters who say things in the third story. It's brought up in the 6th story in this book. It is incredible. Kawakami does such a good job of linking all of these very different characters throughout Nishino's life and bringing them together to tell this story about this man who is broken inside. He starts off being this very suave, cool man, and that's all we see of him. So, oh, okay, yeah. Nishino is that cool uncle you have, you know, the one that says, I'm never going to settle down. I don't know why I did that. That's the kind of person we think Nishino is. And then the more we learn about him, the more we jump around in his life. Sometimes we start when he's an old man, then we jump to a story of him in his teens, then we go to him in his 20s, then back to a man in his late 50s. But at different points throughout his life, we learn more about why Nishino has this almost incapability of being able to truly love someone, and why he is racked with this guilt throughout as to why he doesn't really understand what love is. And the women that he falls in love with, or at least thinks he falls in love with, the women who become his lovers, they tell us more about him and teach us about Nishino and how he has had an effect on them despite his potential incapability to love. I wholly recommend you pick up The 10 Loves of Mr Nishino. It is a book that I will read again and again, I feel. And Kawakami as a writer, I absolutely love her work. Frankly, I believe she's becoming more of my favourite author than Murakami was, which is a big thing for me because I've loved Murakami since the age of 18. But Hiromi Kawakami's writing style, her way she expresses love, and she does go into that slight realm that Murakami goes into, that almost fantasy dreamlike world at points. But I love how grounded her work is at the end of the day. Again, the link to this book will be in the description down below. Please pick it up. This is the Big Issue calls it wonderful, and frankly, I agree. I think this book is wonderful, and it's very short. It was a one-sitting read for me. So please pick up this book, and if you do, comment down below in a week, 2 weeks, a year's time when you read it. What is love? How do you define it? And how many times have you been in love? Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video with a friend or family member, and I hope you find a book to read that you fall in love with.